Here on the Colour of Country Life, Flow FM. For 2022, we've got Ali Cupper back with us from the independent member for Mildura. Great to have you with us.
Hi, thanks.
You had a good Christmas break, I hope. Managed to have some time off with the family?
Yeah, I had a good break. It was good to have a bit of a rest, and it's good to be back.
Unfortunately, some of the topics that dogged us last year are still with us this year, and we'll deal with those in a moment. One of the flow-on impacts you're saying is a shortage of workers in the Mildura district.
Yeah, that's right. So we've been grappling with the seasonal worker shortage for a while, and of course that goes along with massive shortages in accommodation infrastructure. So that's sort of been a problem that's been hot for a while. But more recently, another issue has emerged, and that's worker shortages in the hospitality and retail sectors. So they are drowning right now. We've got stories of signature chefs who are waiting tables and, iconic local businesses and cafes having to reduce their hours for the first time ever. We've got, businesses who are like 8, 10, 12 staff short. It's really tough out there. And what we're wanting to do is speak to local businesses and find out exactly, firstly, the content of the problem, what is everyone feeling out there and experiencing specifically, so then that can inform our advocacy to the state government. I mean, some of this stuff, it can't be fixed with a simple government lever, but, there might be little things that perhaps the government could do to assist, and that's sort of what we're going to be exploring.
So you're calling for people to share their experiences with you. It's some form of online forum, I gather, that's where most people can participate at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. So I've sort of had probably a handful of businesses approach me directly, but they've been able to sort of share stories, second or third hand from other businesses in the sector. So I guess, in order to be able to pitch my advocacy in the most precise, helpful way, I want to know that I've cast the net as widely as I can. So to get a really good handle on an issue, it's good to talk to a lot of people. So I just want to be able to provide that form, I guess, to see if there's anything I can do. Maybe there's not. I don't know. This might be just one of those things where we've just got to tough it out until we can turn that tap back on with the backpackers and international workers. And I don't know. I mean, one of the local businesses was saying that we need more incentives for locals, locals maybe long-term unemployed, to get out there and to do, take on more of these roles. But, the issue is we've had full employment for a long time. Most people who can work are working. So it's tricky, but look, we'll just keep going. The main thing for me, I guess, is the local MPs. I don't want my constituents to feel like they're not being heard and that we don't care or we're AWOL. I want to be present in the space.
So the challenge you mentioned there, full employment in effect. Most people who want to get work are able to get some amount of work that's adequate. There's the absence of international workers to a degree because of COVID restrictions. Are they the major factors driving why they can't find the staff they need in hospitality and in your electorate?
Well, I think so, but that's partly why I want to meet with people on Wednesday night so I can find out, I guess from their perspective, what the key factors might be. The truth of it is I'm not running a restaurant, so I don't just instinctively know exactly what is driving this, but to be able to talk to these businesses will be extremely helpful. We're all on the same page here. To have a dynamic community and a local economy that works for everybody, we need our business sector to be thriving. And it's quite heartbreaking to see the level of stress that's out there right now. Our local business sector contains among the most, entrepreneurial, go-getting, talented, dynamic people, and we want them to be doing well.
And how do they find? How do they find out more information about this forum you want them to take part in? Is there somewhere online they click and register, or?
Yeah, no, they can just email my office or give us a call, and we'll be able to email them a link to the forum. There's a little note on my Facebook page, but essentially just send us an email. So that's ali.cupper@parliament.vic.gov.au, and we will send you that link.
Okay, and now the Mildura Base Hospital has been, even when you were running to get elected for the seat, it's been a long-running concern about whose hands it should be in and the service level it's able to provide. During the COVID controversy, the challenges of providing adequate health services, it's come into the spotlight again. You're much happier now that it's running in public hands?
Yeah, well, look, I'm happier, but I'm happier because the staff are happier and the community is happier. There were certain leaders, in our community, but also, in Parliament, who were telling us that we should be happy with our privatised public hospital. But curiously, they weren't advocating for it to be anywhere else, for any other public hospital to be privatised. They weren't interested in, advocating for, a public hospital in their electorate, for example, in relation to other MPs, to be privatised. We had local leaders who thought that we had a fair enough, decent model. They couldn't explain to you why no other MP in Victoria wanted their public hospital to be privatised. So something was clearly up. And it was Kevin Chambers, a highly esteemed local surgeon who's no longer with us, who blew the whistle and said, look, this is not a good situation. We need to get the hell out of this contract. And luckily the stars aligned and we're in a position where we could do that, and the government was willing to listen. And since then we've seen an incredible bounce in recruitment. We've had one of the state's best obstetricians is now based in Mildura. A brilliant orthopaedic surgeon is now based here. We've got all of our staff can now get access to salary sacrifice or salary packaging, which they couldn't when the hospital was a private company. And as I mentioned last week, in a global public health crisis, what you need is a hospital that has only a public health lens on the issue. That they're not trying to make a profit on the side. That they are absolutely just solely focused on making sure that the public is safe, and we've seen that in terms of their communications. The base hospital, prior to it coming back to public management, the first part of 2020, wasn't even communicating to the community about COVID, certainly not on their social media, which is the most accessible platform. Now we have constant communication from our hospital administration because that's what they're there to do. They're just there to serve the public interest and the public safety. So it's been a really wonderful journey.
Has there been any feedback in the community that they've had any staffing shortages? You're talking about the small business or retail sector. Are they managing? It sounds like they've attracted some high-profile roles, like the orthopaedic surgeon and obstetrician you mentioned. Are they getting all the staff they need at the base hospital?
Yeah, well, look, they're coping. I mean, this is the sort of the challenge about COVID. It's kind of exacerbating or compounding what was already a problem. When you're in a very far-flung, isolated regional town or city, it can be difficult to recruit people across the board, in every sector and at every level. So our hospital, certainly it's okay now, but I know that our CEO, Terry Welsh, coming into the job and getting a bit of a feel for the place and looking forward, so over the next decade, was saying he can see it becoming more and more challenging for us to be able to fill the nursing quotas that we need, and potentially it could continue to be an issue. Let's put it that way, which is why he's doing a lot of forward planning, which is visionary and fantastic, to say, look, we now need to work on getting a brand new hospital because the current one is not fit for purpose. And along with that, we need to make it an academic teaching hospital so that we can attract young, talented movers and shakers who want to learn how to be doctors and nurses, and to then hopefully encourage them to put down some roots and then stay here, so that we are future-proofing our hospital from worker and talent shortages in the future.
Yeah, so a new hospital for Mildura and the district is going to be a hot topic, I gather, then going up to an election in November this year.
Oh yeah, well that's right. So we the ask that we're putting out there is for $500 million for a brand new hospital. So it's a big ask, but it's part of The way I've been doing politics for a long time, and that's just you've got to be bold and ambitious. You've got to have the audacity to ask, and when you know that your community needs something, when their health care, the most important thing there is at stake, then you ask for it, you push, and you start. And the long march hopefully won't be too long, but it'll take as long as it takes. The point is we need and deserve a brand new hospital. It's important at so many levels, and recruitment is one of those.
Well, Ali Cupper, that's something we'll have to keep checking in on across the year. Great to have you with us again on Flow. Happy New Year, and we'll catch you soon.
Thank you so much. Same to you.